Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
I'm Brian Peters with your Weather Xtreme video for Monday, July the 29th. We got an anniversary going on today with this is the anniversary of the record high in Birmingham of 107, which occurred back in 1930. Nothing like that going on today. Skycam network showing some high clouds across the area, making for some pretty sunrises as we see at Birmingham, and we also see another pretty one at Hamilton. The drier air has settled into the area, and the frontal boundary is actually down in the vicinity of Montgomery this morning. And we can see that clearly on the surface analysis as we look at the observations, and we can see the mid-60 dew points in central Alabama, but they're in the lower 70s when you get down to Montgomery. So the drier air here, and I think that means we stay shower-free today. Can't rule out an isolated pop-up shower in the heat of the afternoon, but I think we stay mostly dry. Aloft, the closed low and the trough begin to exit as the two ridges, one to our east and one to our west, kind of grasp hands across the area, and that will allow us to warm up a bit. The next frontal boundary coming in on Wednesday, Thursday time frame will produce some QPF across the Ohio River Valley primarily, and we will stay in an area where I think we're going to see mostly showers. But of course, with a northwesterly flow returning, we've got to watch for those large clusters or mesoscale convective systems that occur with those disturbances. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a slight risk for severe storms in parts of Kansas and northern Oklahoma for today, and several different C-text areas where conditions are marginally favorable for some severe storms. And then on day 2, no areas of slight risk. For the tropics, we're still watching and looking at Dorian as it passes north of Puerto Rico. The long range or the projections by the various computer models suggest that it could come into the area just between Cuba and Florida, the Florida Straits. So we'll be watching that. If it does, of course, it would become possibly a Gulf storm. And conditions, as you saw, 50% possibility of becoming a tropical cyclone in the next 48 hours. So conditions are not quite as hostile as they have been. All right, on the 06 GFS model run, there's the upper air pattern for today, and you can see the two ridges, one to our west and one to our east, trying to get together as the trough pulls on out to the northeast. By tomorrow, Tuesday, we see that the ridge kind of broadens and takes over, but because we have drier air in place at the surface, I think we pretty much stay dry. Again, on Tuesday, an isolated shower can't be ruled out completely with the heat of the day as highs get into the lower 90s. We see the ridge move back to the west, retrograde, and we see once again a troughiness develop across the eastern part of the country in response to a digging system coming out of Canada. For us, of course, that just means that we should see some showers as we watch that system get closer. That trough comes down in on Thursday, and of course, as it does, I think we could see the potential for a front coming down at least into the Tennessee River Valley, but we call it a front, but it's more like a frontal boundary, once again representing more of a difference between dry air and moister air. Friday, the trough sets up once again, but notice that there's a little disturbance coming out of Kansas. We're going to have to watch for these MCSs, and of course the GFS is hinting at that. Have to watch out for those MCSs coming in the northwesterly flow and coming all the way from Kansas all the way down into the southeastern U.S. So predicting them this far out is not that classic or that clear, but we certainly need to be on the vigilance for that. The troughiness weakens just a little bit over the southeast, so even though we may have a weak boundary in the area, I think we're going to see showers continue. We see showers primarily on Sunday once again as little reinforcements coming through the Great Lakes kind of maybe increase the amplitude of the trough just a tad. Still, once again, I think the moist atmosphere just keeps us pretty much in some showers around the area. Fairly typical summertime weather pattern. On Monday, we still see that this huge trough is in place a week from today. And so once again, just the continuation of shower possibilities. I hate these monotonous forecasts sometimes. Now, extending the forecast out into voodoo country, we certainly see the GFS being pretty active with a nice trough once again around the 9th of August, so no sign of any heat. And then when we get out to the 13th, GFS indicating a closed low over the western Great Lakes with a nice trough extending down into East Texas. The thing about this pattern is it could be a more of a southwesterly moist flow for us, which means it could be even wetter. So once again, no sign of any extreme heat. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Extreme video for today. Expect to have the next one posted first thing on Tuesday morning, So be sure to check back with the blog by 8 a.m. or so. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.